become Paramashiva. I won't rest. Don't worry at all. To all my disciples, I give you this as a boon. I'll swallow everything with which you are stuck and liberate you all. The moment you decide, your consciousness is the supreme identity you have. You will not empower your depression, your frustration, deal your problems, whether it is simple headache or depression, or the worst suicidal patterns, or life negativity, only through consciousness. Don't go for any other solution. Don't keep stupid, toxic, life negative struggles inside. Greater signs of life can be realized with a greater ability to visualize. Greater signs is the equivalent word for Hinduism. When you understand the greater signs of life, greater courage, more possibility, more fearlessness, more joy, more bliss. When you visualize Paramashiva with 25 heads, 75 eyes, 50 hands, your consciousness becomes ferocious, and that ability to visualize, you will get involved in everything deeply. Involved people are the most delicious, most sweet, most beautiful, most juiciest beings of planet Earth.
Just be alive for next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. I guarantee you, I will reach you wherever you are. Be alive, somehow be alive for next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment. It's my commitment to humanity.
I'm going to empower, enlighten each and every one of you with the fuel and energy of the parallel universe. I'll infuse this intense supernal effulgence DNA, Tejas, Ojas, Kundalini Shakti into your spine to consciously lift you to KAILASA. It is irreversible, permanent enlightenment. irreversible power manifestation, irreversible permanent empowerment.
नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nityananda everyone, we welcome all of you to the Bhavasmani Darshan of Devi Parashakti. Before we enter into the segment, KAILASA National Security Agency would like to have some mandatory security measures. Please be aware of all the security measures. Also, please be aware of all the important cautions. With this, we welcome all the KAILASvasis attending from all the KAILASA monasteries, gurukuls, temples, adinams, and centers from around the world. We welcome all the NTV, KAILASA TV, Hinduism Now TV, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube viewers, and all those blessed to have Nayana Diksha to a video conferencing who are joining us for today's program. We'll start with the introduction of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of KAILASA, which is a macrocosmic, ancient, enlightened Hindu civilizational nation. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashivam, as per Hinduism, recognized by his predecessors who are enlightened masters and adepts. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made the science of power manifestation, yoga and temple-based universities a lifestyle for humanity. So now we'll look into some of the coronation ceremony, the various responsibility that Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism holds. So before the year of 1981, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was identified as the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva by the spiritual adepts and the enlightened masters of Hinduism. In the year 1981, he was initiated into Bala Sannyas and the Chaturmasya at the age of 3. In the coming year, 1988, he was coronated as the future Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tondai Mandala Adinam, which is the oldest monastic university. In the year 1994, he was appointed as the successor of Arunachala Sarvanya Peetham by the Guru Parampara. And in the 1999, he founded the mission Nithyananda Sangha to revive KAILASAs internationally. In the year 1999, he was coronated as the successor of Kashi Sarvanya Peetham. In the year 2002, he founded Adi KAILASA Sarvanya Peetham, and in the year 2004, he was declared as the successor of Bhagyanagara Sripura Sarvanya Peetham. In the year 2004, he was also appointed as the incumbent emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Samrajyam of the Suryavamsa lineage. In the year 2007, he was declared as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Adipallava Sarvanyapita. Same year, he was also declared as the Mahamandaleswar of Mahanirvani Akhada. In the year 2012, he was coronated as the 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Madurai Shyamala Pitha Sarvanyapita, which is the oldest Hindu papal estate in the monastic kingdom. In the year 2013, he was officially coronated as the Mahamandaleswar of Mahanirvani Akhada, which is the largest apex monastic order. And at the time of coronation ceremony, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was the youngest Mahamandaleswar. In the same year, he was also declared as the Acharya Mahamandaleswar of Atalakhara. Atalakhara is the oldest monastic order in Hinduism. He was declared as the Acharya Mahamandaleswar by then Acharya Mahamandaleswar Sukhdevanandaji. And in the next year, the year of 2014, he was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tanjavur Adinam. In the year 2014, he was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Tiruvarur Adinam and Tiruvarur Adinam Vedaranyamadinam in the Panchanadi Kulam. In the coming year, 2015, he was coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Dharma Mukti Swargapura Madinam, and also coronated as the Guru Mahasannidhanam of Adipit Koladamat. In the year 2015, he was also elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by congregation of over 1,000 spiritual leaders of Hinduism. So now we'll look into a brief introduction of the various global initiatives taken by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to revive Sanatana Hindu Dharma and establish the Enlightenment ecosystem all around the world. So for last 28 years, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been doing relentless humanitarian services and initiatives through the various international agencies and the bodies. These initiatives include free vegetarian food, medical services, natural disaster relief, women empowerment initiatives, conflict resolutions, peace initiatives, and sustainable Hindu practices. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has authored more than 300 books, 10,000 articles in 3 languages, which is English, Tamil, and Sanskrit, that has been translated into 50 languages with over 1,000 titles. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has written more than 10,000 books and almost 20 million copies of these books and prolific scriptures and over 20 million digital books. He is revered as the most prolific, most viewed guru in the digital world, read and watched by 1 billion plus followers in Hinduism. Over 10,000 hours of discourses, over 1 million views on the social media. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is respected as a commentator of all the sacred scriptures, such as Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Shiva Sutras, Yoga Sutras, Ashtavakra Gita, Jaina Sutras. He is also honored as the leader of Hinduism, the most awarded, internationally recognized Hindu leader. He is also acclaimed as one of the top 100 spiritually influencing living personality by Watkins Mind, Body, Spirit magazine. The Sovereign Order of KAILASA, led by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagwan Nithyananda Paramashivam, and Nithyananda Order of monks, nuns, and Hindu diaspora, are working for global peace to give superconscious breakthrough to the humanity. He has also established the largest Hindu university in the world with the satellite campuses in 150 countries. He has established a 1,000 plus KAILASA Enlightenment ecosystem. He is also founder and reviver of over 100 Sarvanyapithams. So with this, we'll move to the next segment, and that is going to be Science of Power Manifestation. So through this, we'll go through the brief introduction of what is Science of Power Manifestation and how do we start awakening these divine powers in us. So in the Vedagma, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Paramashiva reveals in elaborate detail that every human being is hardwired to be able to manifest more than 463 powers through the third eye. Manifesting powers are described as the system, method, and the science for human beings to explore the various possibilities, powers, and have access to the various states of consciousness. Paramashiva, who is the source cause for all this, is the primordial divinity in Hinduism, the ultimate reality and cause, which is self-effulgent, Swayam Prakasha, all-pervading, unchanging, beyond time, space, form, and causality. At the fundamental base of Abhyakta, the unmanifest, and the Vyakta, the manifest existence, he performs the Panchakritya or the five cosmic acts of Srishti, which is creation, Sthiti, which is sovereign rulership and maintenance, Samhara, which is rejuvenation, Prabhava, pulling out of delusion, Anugraha, which is liberating grace for all the living entities. So how do we start manifesting these Shaktis? So every ultimate truth, the cosmic truth, or the powerful cognitions, when it gets mapped into our consciousness, the self, it manifests as the possibility and power of every being. The initiated disciples, so all the people can receive these powers, the powerful cognitions, as a part of the initiation from the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. During the program Paramashivoham Level 3, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism will be initiating all of us into the various powers and the various powerful cognitions, which will make us manifest the various powers of Paramashivoham. So we'll talk about one of the power of body scanning. And in this power of body scanning, one awakens to the ability to scan illnesses, disease, medically diagnosed issues, and provide solutions through the awakened third eye. All this power manifestation, the science of power manifestations, has been authenticated through the various pramanas, specifically the Shastra Pramana, Apta Pramana, Atma Pramana, and Shakshi Pramana. The Shastra Pramana, they are eternal, unchangeable truths revealed in the Vedagamas by Paramashiva himself. The Shastra Pramana for the power of body scanning is from Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, where Bhagavan Paramashiva says, cognize deeply that from subtle to subtlest constitute a principle of your whole body, Swadeha, or of the whole universe, simultaneously consist of the essential reality. They are being absorbed in the source cause. By the experience of such restful awareness, one becomes complete from all the thoughts, and the ultimate universal divine power, Paradevi, is revealed when the supreme power manifestation happens. The Apta Pramana, and this is from the life of a great Siddha, Tirayar, who was a great Siddha and one of the prominent disciples of Agatya. One day, a man suffering from the severe headache comes to Agatya for healing. Agatya uses the power of body scanning and identify the root cause of the headache. He reveals that there is a small Tiraya sitting in the person's brain. Agatya immediately instructs Tiraya, a disciple, to perform the open head surgery and remove the frog. After the surgery is completed, successfully the person is healed and cured of the headache, thus he gained the name Tiraya. The Atma Pramana, and this is from the life of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shared this on 22nd December 2019. And he revealed how some Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism himself used the power of body scan. Paraphrasing his words, only when I had the multiple compound hand fracture, I was forced to go for surgery and therefore for the medical checkups related to that. At that time, they detected heavy metal quantity in my different organs. It was revealed that I had been poisoned without our knowledge. I immediately used a diagnostic method instead of medical facility to study the body conditions linked to poison. Through body scanning, I found out what the problem imbalances had happened and where the balance is to be done. I used allopathy as a second opinion to verify my findings. So as the living incarnation of Paramashiva, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism embodies the most profound yogic states that surpass all bounds of time, space, and matter. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is gifting this great science of third eye awakening along with the many other spiritual powers. Through the initiation, Diksha, and millions of people have been initiated by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and they have been experiencing a profound results as extraordinary powers in their everyday life. All of you can also receive these initiations of this program on kailasa.org/Paramashivoham and can be part of this program. So through this program, you can receive the various initiations and powers into the various powers to manifest the power of third eye. So with this, we'll now move to the next segment. In the next segment, we are going to be looking into the various problems that world has been facing and how the KAILASA brings the solutions to all of that. So today we'll be talking about the poverty solutions and the Ishanya project that has been launched by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to bring out almost 1 crore people out of poverty and raise their consciousness by practicing Samadhi. So we'll get back to the next segment after a short break. Please stay tuned.
itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to struggle with the same rut is time, Kala. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself. Your consciousness has power at this moment to swallow, digest, clean up all negativity and all toxins. Develop a powerful will persistence. That's the most important asset for life. I am not giving you some life positive blah blah. I am giving you the facts of life. I am triggering your consciousness.
Nityan, everyone, welcome back to the program. So now we'll look into the KAILASA, the Sanya project. This is one of the project launched by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to bring out almost 1 crore people out of poverty and raise the consciousness level of the world. So look into some of the facts that was shared by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, and which is also the source cause of why this project was initiated by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism shares that humanity and the modern society have already reached a state of technology and infrastructure to provide food, clothing, and medical care for all 8 billion people, calling all 8 billion people living on the planet Earth. But unfortunately, our decision makers have not reached the necessary conscious level to make the decisions, make the humanitarian decisions of providing the basic need for all 8 billion people. The survival need for all 8 billion people does not depend on availability of housing or food, but rather on the conscious level of the decision makers. It is only consciousness that we lack, not the infrastructure, not the food, not the housing. The world has reached to a state where we have enough capacity to fulfill the basic needs of all the 8 billion people. So this revelations of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been supported by the various facts and the researches done by the various scientists and the research institutes across the world. So the world has been seeing enough of food wastage, medical equipment wastage, the cloth wastage, home and shelter wastage. So one side we dump tons of food in the waste in ocean and the landfill, and just to maintain the steady prices. And on the other side, the millions of people are dying without the food. Also, with the same, with respect to the medical equipment, one side we dump functioning medical equipments for the new models. Another side, millions of people are dying without having access to the very basic medical equipments. For the cloth wastage, one side we dump millions of tons of barely worn cloth into the ocean, and other side, there are millions who struggle for the basic clothing. So we'll be looking into the more details about the food wastage, medical wastages, cloth wastages. So almost 1/3 of the total food produced goes as the wastage, and around 35 million people are living in the food poverty. So here we are going to be talking about the multi-dimensional poverty, whether it is with respect to the food, clothing, or the medical equipments, or for the housing. So almost 1/3 of the food produced in the world for the human consumptions, approximately, which is 1.3 billion tons, get wasted or lost, and that too every year. So food losses and the waste amount to roughly $680 billion in industrialized country and almost $310 billion in the developing countries. Around 155 million people in the 55 countries or the regions have faced a food crisis in the year 2021. And this number has increased because of the COVID-19, and it has increased up to 265 million people in the year 2022. So even if just 1/4 of the food that is getting currently lost or wasted globally, if we can save that, it would be enough to feed 870 million hungry people in the world, which is more than twice of the people who are suffering with the food poverty. So 35 million people are dying from the hunger worldwide, and a child dies from the hunger every 10 seconds. Poor diets are also linked to 20% of all the death that happen worldwide. So these are the various global challenges that humanity has been facing, and we do have solutions for this. Here, very clearly, we can see that it is not the lack of food or the infrastructure to distribute these foods, but it is lack of our consciousness, where we are not able to make the right decision to supply everyone with the food. So looking at the medical wastages, so almost 5.25 billions of equipments are discarded every year. And there are 100 million people who do not have access to any medical equipments or any medical facilities to have improved health. So let us look at some of the data. So US medical waste will attain around $5.25 billion by 27. Among the regulated and unregulated clinical waste, around 80 to 85% can be reused. Unused supplies in the medical facilities are often discarded unnecessarily rather than stored for the later use, adding even more unnecessary garbage being carted away to landfills. Reprocessing industry saving 15 million pounds of medical waste from landfills and reducing cost to hospitals, surgical centers by over $544 million. Some of the world's poorest countries are paying some of the highest drug prices, with everyday medicines costing up to 30 times more than in the rich nations. Half the world lack access to the essential health services. 100 million is still pushed into extreme poverty because of the health expenses. So this is the real scenario where we are standing with respect to the medical equipment wastages. Now let us have a look on the cloth wastages. So almost 59,000 tons of the clothes are wasted every year. Whereas 1/8 of our population is living in the cloth poverty, means they do not have access to the basic clothing. So almost 100 billion garments are produced every year, with 33% going to the landfill. Every year, almost 59,000 tons of the used and unsold clothing end up in the Chile from all over the world. Every 10 minutes, an estimated 6,000 kilos of the clothing and textiles are dumped in the landfills. 1 in the 8 children without the basic clothes. 1 billion children worldwide are multidimensionally poor, means they do not have either access to the food, clothing, medical equipments, or a shelter to live. Almost 22,000 children die every year due to inhygiene around the world. So now let us look at some of the figures with respect to the vacant home and the shelter. So the world has millions of vacant homes. 42 millions of its 426 million homes are vacant. Roughly 1 in the 10 homes in the advanced economies are empty. Japan has topped the list of nations with the highest percentage of the vacant homes, with 13.6% of its dwelling not lived in. Almost 1.3 million houses are vacant in Canada. 27% increase in homelessness is likely due to the economic impact of the COVID-19. More than 1/3 of the people are facing homelessness services. Among them are the women and the children. And for the last 5 years, the core homelessness has been rising year on year worldwide. Homeless people are over 9 times more likely to take their own life than the general populations. 78% of homeless people report having a physical health conditions, 44% of them having the mental health diagnosis, and 41% use the drugs and alcohol to cope up with the mental health issues. KAILASA aims to raise the consciousness level in the world and bring it to the fore on the real issues facing the world, and through a specialized process of recycling, facilitating the movement of the goods quality from unwanted items from the haves to the have-nots. This Chaturmasya, which is 4 months from starting from the Guru Purnima to the Navaratri, 1 crore people should practice Samadhi to raise their consciousness, and 1 crore people should be pulled out of the poverty. So with this, KAILASA has launched this project, KAILASA Ishanya. KAILASA Ishanya is a win-win project for everyone who is going to be involved in this project. For donor, it's a great boon to provide those who are in the need. For the world, recycling removes a lot of hazardous materials from the nature, leading to a cleaner environment. For those who are in the need, millions of people around the world will be alive, raised out of poverty, hunger, and inadequate health practices due to lack of medical facilities. So it's a win-win situation for everyone who is going to be involved in the project. So over the last 27 years, Sri KAILASA has built a network of the legal entities in 140 countries around the world, holding charity status in 118 of these countries. In many countries, Sri KAILASA entities are registered distributors as well, meaning that we can manage the entire process and will make full use of this network to collect clothing, medical equipment, food materials from the developed nations, and transport them, distributed to the countries and regions in need, with all the transportations and distribution expenses sponsored by the Sri KAILASA. So you can get more information about this project, Ishanya, by visiting the website gov.srikailasa.org/Ishanya. So here you can get more details about the project Ishanya, and also you can register yourself for contributing to this project or being part of this project as a volunteer, as a donor, or you can also make a request for the items that you are looking for. So now we'll look into some of the more detailed facts about the poverty and how Sri KAILASA has been working to raise the consciousness level of human beings to manifest the wealth consciousness in them so that they can get out of the poverty that they have been facing in their life. We'll do so after a short break. Please stay tuned.
Time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your decision to swallow time is Kala Bhairava. Stand. Be a conscious woman or man. Be conscious being. Shrink the time through conscious will persistence. Make the future into present by being ferocious with yourself.
Nithyananda everyone, welcome back to Bhava Samadhi Darshan. So around 9.2% of the total world population, 689 million people are living in the extreme poverty, which is less than, many of them are making less than $1.9 a day. So in the coming year, by the year 2013, it's projected that the world poverty is going to be increasing by 30 million more than projected or the expected value. Almost 1.3 billion people are living in the multidimensional poverty. Means either they have poverty with respect to the food or health or shelter or with respect to the clothing. Out of all this, 15% are children, which makes 663 million people, and 32% of the total 1.3 billion are under 10-year-old, which is 428 billion. People which is under the age of 10 are living in multidimensional poverty. Also, as all of we are aware, the COVID-19 that the world has been facing major challenges with respect to the COVID-19, and COVID-19 has doubled the poverty rate in the many parts of the world. So here some of the data has been presented for all of us to have a better understanding. So COVID-19, it is also expected that COVID-19 can push 500 million people into the poverty, which is 500 million people can be pushed again into the poverty. And most of them are going to be East Asia and the Pacific. So alone East Asia and the Pacific will be contributing to 239 million people towards the poverty. Second among them is being the South Asia, then Latin America and the Caribbean country, Middle East, North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, Europe and Central Asia, and other high-income countries are also almost 4.7% of this 500 million people are going to be pushed into poverty. So this is going to be the economic impact of the COVID-19. So out of all these people who are living in the extreme poverty, among them the children and youth account for the 2/3 of the total world poor. And women represent a majority in the most of the regions. So extreme poverty is increasingly concerned in the sub-Saharan Africa. About 40% of the region's people live on less than $1.9 a day. Extreme poverty rates nearly doubles in the Middle East and the North Africa between 2015 and 2018, from 3.8% to 7.2%. And that is mostly because of the crisis in the Syria and Yemen. Although the countries impacted by fragility, crisis, and the violence are home to about 10% of the world's population, that account for more than 40% of the people living in extreme poverty. By the year 2030, an estimated 67% of the world's poor will live in the fragile context. About 70% of the people older than 15 who live in the extreme poverty have no clothing or no schooling or only some basic education. Around 1.3 billion people in 107 developing countries, which account for 22% of the world's population, live in the multidimensional poverty. About 84.3% of multidimensionally poor live in the sub-Saharan Africa and the South Asia. 644 million children are experiencing multidimensional poverty. The impact of COVID-19 and a rising global inequality, soaring food prices are set to send more than 250 million more people into the poverty this year itself. And this is as per the charity group Oxfam International. The combined hit may result into a total of 860 million people living below the poverty line by the year of 2022, or 263 million more than the projected before the pandemic. And this is the equivalent, just to have a better idea, this is equivalent to the entire population of the UK, United Kingdom, France, Germany, and Spain combined together. The monthly child poverty rate increased from 12.1% in December 2021 to 17% in the January 2022. This is the highest rate that had been seen since the end of the 2020. The 4.9% increase in the poverty represents 3.7 million more children in the poverty. So globally, large number of young people are out of the school engaged in the child labor. About 1/10 of the total population, that is 168 million children aged 5 to 17, has been involved into the child labor. So in the developing countries, an estimated 2/3 of youths are not fulfilling their economic requirements. So according to the UNICEF, almost 22,000 children die every day due to the poverty, means more than 3 every second. So in the time that we take it for all of us to read the paragraph, 3 children have already been died. So now let us look into the solution that Sri KAILASA is providing, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been providing to the humanity to raise their consciousness. As Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says that the various problems that the world is facing, it's not because of the lack of infrastructure, food, or anything else, but it is the lack of consciousness. So here Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism gives a very powerful solutions to manifest the wealth consciousness, so that we can attract the wealth people, or situations in our life as needed to manifest a better life. So look into the various powerful cognitions that Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has decoded and shared with all of us, and these truths are directly from the Vedas and Agama, which are the source scriptures of Hinduism revealed by the Paramashivoham. So here Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says that the life can be equated to two things. One, the ability to achieve what we want in the inner world or outer world. Second, just getting stuck in both the worlds. These are the only two equations. Very clearly, he is mentioning it that life should be equated only with these two things, either getting stuck or being successful in what we want to achieve, whether it is inner world or outer world. So this is the fact that every one of us want to manifest wealth in our life, but we do not increase the life in us to the level that we need it. The wealth is nothing but the life energy that we express. It is a straight equation because, as of now, a normal man has the wealth as the first priority in life. So if we do not have the wealth, let's not blame anybody else. We ourselves are not expressing the enough life in us. Life energy is not happening in us. We'll also look into the various reasons why the life energy is not happening in us and what we need to do to start expressing the life energy in us. But before that, let us have some more understanding, more powerful cognitions on the wealth. Creating wealth is the intrinsic part of our life. Bhagavan Sri Krishna emphasizes this by expressing in the Bhagavad Gita. Very beautifully, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says in the Gita that Gahano Karmano Gatihi. The universe, by its very nature, works. So if we have at least the goal of creating wealth, we will be creative. Our energy will be channeled properly. The very first priority in the life should be the moksha, working for enlightenment. Till that happens, the second priority could be creating wealth. So creating wealth makes us non-violent because our whole energy becomes creative. So this is another benefit that we are going to be experiencing once we start working to create wealth in our life. Our whole energy gets channeled in the right direction, in the direction of being creative. Creating wealth brings tremendous interest in the life. And because of that, it makes us non-violent, reducing the violence from the globe. So what is the wealth? So all of us have certain understanding about the wealth, what we consider as the wealth. Here, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is giving us the understanding from the cosmic archives. He says wealth is not an object or thing to be achieved. It is an extension of us. Understand? When we say it is an object that need to be achieved, means something which is external, we need to work for it to achieve from outside. Here, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says that it is an extension of us. Means we just need to express more life to manifest wealth in our life. So anything that adds to you is the wealth. The quality of health that we enjoy, the state of our relationships that we enjoy, the fulfillment that we experience in our career, our mental state, or the sense of inner fulfillment. All these are the measures of the success with which we have created wealth in our life. So wealth is not just money or the currency, but money is also one wealth, currency is one wealth. The assets that we have are also one wealth. Being alive, active is one wealth. So all these four put together is the wealth. Wealth is neither good nor bad. It's just an utility value. So what does Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism means by the wealth consciousness? Wealth consciousness means making a clear decision to break out of all the myths and the mental pattern that improvise us and draw us again and again into the poverty cycle. So to understand it more clearly, we'll be introducing a few more things here, and that is going to be about the belief, perceptions, the science of completion also. So let us understand what exactly we manifest in our life. How do we manifest? Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism says that we do not manifest our desire, we manifest the cognitions, means what we cognize or perceive as the reality. We all desire to have the wealth. but in deep down in our cognition, in perception, or in belief, we have something completely against of manifesting wealth or creating wealth in our life. For example, many of us say that I really desire to have the wealth, but deep down we believe that wealthy people are wrong people, they are arrogant people in our life. Even if by any chance we do manifest the wealth, we'll carry a lot of guilt of manifesting wealth in our life. To give you more clear understanding, we'll look into some of the common beliefs that we carry about the wealth. And these are the source cause for not manifesting the wealth consciousness in our life. Or in a very simple words, not being able to manifest wealth or not being able to manifest our desires in the reality. So some of the common belief that we carry is that wealthy people are arrogant, they are bad people, and we carry deep resistance towards the wealthy people, which leads to we not accumulating the wealth, or even if we accumulate, carrying a lot of guilt. The Supreme Point of Hinduism shares that the wealthy people are arrogant, bad people. About this belief, he says the truth is arrogance does not come by the wealth. Arrogant people will be arrogant whether they have wealth or not. So what does the arrogance means? Means believing that you are more important than or no more than other people. And it does not depend upon the wealth that you have. It can be even if you are a poor person. But we wrongly associate wealth to the arrogance and create a pattern and start hating wealth as well. The same way we hate arrogance. The another common belief that we carry, the poverty is good. Deep inside, we learn that poverty is a good quality. We feel reverence and respect for poverty. And if this is what we are going to be believing or perceiving, we'll not be able to manifest or generate wealth in our life. So how do we break the mental patterns or this belief or perception that we carry about the wealth, which is the source cause of not creating wealth in our life? So anything that we cognize, understand, anything that we cognize, believe, perceive, we create a certain energy field about our cognizance. We attract situations, people, everything around us to make that cognition into reality. All we need is to have the will persistence to manifest any powerful cognizance. Will persistence is nothing but our decision of not going to give up our intentions till it is manifested. So we may be desiring to have wealth, but we may not be believing, perceiving, or cognizing it as our possibility. So the first and foremost important step that we need to do is creating an energy field of attracting wealth. And to do that, we are going to be cleaning up all the incompletions and the pattern that we carry about the wealth and create a right space of powerful cognizance or powerful magnetic energy center in us so that we can attract the wealth, people, and situations that supports us to create the wealth like the magnetic energy center for manifesting wealth the way we want. So the process starts with finding out all the incompletions. Incompletions means all the inadequate cognitions, all the common belief that we have about the money. So you are going to be digging out all the incompletions with respect to the money and how you're going to be doing. So it's a very simple process. The moment you remember about having wealth in your life or creating money in your life, it will trigger the various emotions or various belief in you. So you have to dig out and write all this pain, suffering, impossibility, or the various belief that you have about the wealth. Like the moment you remember the money, and if you feel it's very difficult to generate, it's a mental pattern that we carry about the wealth. So for various people, it could be the various cognitions or belief that we will be carrying. So what gets triggered in you when you remember money, or whatever emotions get triggered into you. The moment you remember about the money, you need to write down all those things. So this is what is going to be the first step towards finding out all the belief or perceptions that we carry about wealth. It's very important to know that, because only when we know the various cognitions that we carry, we need to find out whether these are impossibility patterns. If it is, we need to do the cleaning. So give some time for yourself to find such various incompletions, the mental pattern in your system. So once you have written all the powerless cognitions, the belief, perception about the wealth, now you have to find out the incident from when it has started building in your life. Understand every cognizance, every belief that we have about the wealth, it would have started at some point of time in our life. So we need to write down, to find those incidents when this wrong or inadequate belief has started manifesting or forming in us. Once we have done this first step and second step, then we do the process of completion. That means relive and relieve ourselves. So we are going to relive those incidents, and by reliving intensely, we will be able to relieve ourselves from those inadequate cognitions. So we're going to complete with all those completions, go back to the same age when that incident happened, when the idea, belief, or perceptions started building in you. Once you have done the completion process, you have cleared out all the inadequate belief from your system. Now you have enough space to consciously decide of what you want to manifest in the next 3 months in the dimension of wealth. So write it very clearly that what is your intention, what is it that you want to manifest in the next 3 months in the field of wealth. So whatever you think as the wealth, you may think more than money, currency, or a person as the wealth for your life situations, as the wealth for your life, or for some people being active. So whatever you think as the wealth for your life, write it down. Write down very clearly that what you want to manifest for the next 3 months. And that is what is going to the process of completion. So this is one of the process that Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has initiated into all of us, or has shared with all of us, to complete or remove the inadequate cognitions or the mental patterns or belief. But there are, other than this, there are thousands of other mental patterns life, and something more than that, experiencing life in its fullest dimension. For that, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is conducting the Paramashivoham level 3. Paramashivoham level 3 program is already going on. Today is the day 6th of the program. And through this program, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism initiates us into the various powerful cognitions, removes various kinds of mental patterns, myths, the various kind of emotions where we are stuck, the fear where we are stuck, or pain and suffering patterns that we have been carrying. All these restrict the manifestations of life or experiencing the various dimensions of the life. Through this program, you can overcome all these various challenges, start experiencing not just the life in this world, but the life in the other worlds also. Through this program, Paramashivoham level 3, Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is giving us the experience of the 25 states of consciousness. As of now, most of us experience only the 3 states of consciousness, and whatever is available in those 3 states of consciousness, we are able to experience, enjoy only those things. When you start experiencing 25 states of consciousness, the more life is available to you. Not just the 25 states of consciousness, but the 11 dimensions, the 5 functions of Paramashiva also you are going to be experiencing. And all of that will make you experience and manifest the various powerful cognitions and the powers of Paramashiva, and you will start living your life as the divine being. So if all of you who desire to have a better life, rather than just being a normal human being and moving to the divine being, the Paramashivoham level 3 is the only program for all of you. So all of you can register for this program, Paramashivoham level 3, by going to kailasa.org/Paramashivoham. This is a very unique and very powerful, immersive, intense 21-day awakening program. And here Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism teaches the various signs of experiencing the ultimate consciousness and ultimately the Paramashiva himself, making you experience your ultimate. So without any delay, I request all of you to register yourself for the program and start experiencing a conscious breakthrough in your life. This will help you to manifest all the reality that you have been desiring, that you have been wishing, and also it will introduce you to various higher possibility of the human life. So with this, we leave you to the next part of this program, and that is going to be the Satsang by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We are going to have the alive darshan and Satsang of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So you can directly hear the various other powerful cognitions, the sciences that Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has been expressing, sharing with the world, and that will give you a glimpses of what you can get into the program Paramashivoham level 3. So with this, we'll end this segment and we'll enter into the live satsang.
Om Nithyanandeshwara Paramashivasamarambam Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva Shaktimadhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. I welcome you all with my love and respects and blessing. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Srimahans, Mahans, Tanedar, Kotari, visitors, viewers, everyone sitting with us all over the world. I welcome all of you with my love and respects and blessings. Paramashiva's message directly from KAILASA. Reason out, season out, hang out, chill out with the highest truth of Paramashivatva. I'll repeat. Reason out, season out, hang out, chill out with highest truths of Paramashivatva. Understand? Truths of Paramashivatva. All the constitutional rights given to each soul by the cosmos is the highest truths of Paramashivatva. See, like each country guarantees some rights by their constitution to their citizens, cosmos guarantees certain rights to all the beings, especially to human beings. So understand, the first right, they call it as the first amendment. The first right cosmos gives you is to think, feel, experience, and live as Paramashiva and to be treated by everyone around you, everything around you as Paramashiva. Listen, not only you have the right to think, feel, exist, experience, live as Paramashiva, you have the right, everything around you, not only human beings, even the nature around you, should treat you as a Paramashiva, and you have a right. Please understand, these are the fundamental rights guaranteed by the cosmic constitution to every being, especially to human beings, because the human beings are hardwired for these greatest truths. Reason out. When I say reason out, I mean continuously using your logic, rationality. See, power to rationalize, ability to logically analyze, ability to internalize, the power of Sankhya, the right reasoning, the right way of reasoning is the unique gift given to all human beings. Understand? Just like two hands, two eyes, two ears, Paramashiva has given us a unique power called ability to rationalize, ability to logically come to a conclusion. And please understand, your ability to rationalize and ability to come to a logical conclusion is no way related to your so-called degrees, universities, education. No. Ability to logically come to conclusion, ability to rationalize comes through involvement. It is simple involvement. Please understand. If you develop the ability to rationalize, logically come to conclusion, reason out, through involvement, that becomes a powerful tool for your pratyaksha pramana. In Hindu tradition, there are various pramanas, the various levels of developing your being for enlightenment. In Shat Darshanas, various pramanas are described. Understand? Purvamimamsa by Jaimini, Uttaramimamsa by Vyasa, Nyaya by Gautama, Vaiseshika by Ganata, Patanjala by Yoga Sutras by Patanjali. The various darshanas, it's actually 6. Nyaya, Vaiseshika, Yoga, Sankhya, Uttaramimamsa, Purvamimamsa. Purva Mimamsa is by Jaimini. Jaimini is the father of Purva Mimamsa Tattva, and Vyasa is the father of Uttara Mimamsa Tattva, and Kapila is the father of the Sankhya Tattva. Gautama is the father of Nyaya Tattva. Patanjali is the father of Yoga Tattva. And Ganada is the father of Vaiseshika Tattva. This Shad Darshana Tattvas, please understand. Each of these darshanas is centered on certain kind of reasoning out. The right reasoning the Sat Darshanas and the Tattva, the thought current, the methodology of reasoning out described in the Sat Darshanas. I was explaining about it. Sankhya by Kapila, Yoga by Patanjali, Nyaya by Gautama, Vaiseshika by Ganata, Purvamimamsa by Jaimini, Uttaramimamsa by Vyasa. This Sat Darshanas teaches a very powerful method, way of thinking, logical reasoning. I tell you, developing logical reasoning is very good to keep your life excited. I tell you, if you use your reasoning ability, as a corrupt, bad, cheap negotiation strategy with life and others, you will constantly feel suffocated, deprived, cheated. Listen, if you use your ability to reason out, your ability to logically come to a conclusion with tremendous violence, anger, just to fight with others, cheap, corrupt strategy to negotiate with life and others, you will feel suffocated, deprived, cheated, frustrated forever. Listen. Ability to reason out is the instrument, tool. In Sanskrit, we use the word antakarana. Buddhi is gifted to you by Paramashiva. First, develop that reasoning ability and reason out the great truth. You are Paramashiva. Listen. If you reason out you are Paramashiva, it's a conscious process. You can't just say, oh, I believe I am Paramashiva, so let me immediately manifest it. Understand? Your belief will become solidified cognition. if you start reasoning out, with a fair reasoning out. I am not even saying you should look at the whole life with the eyes of the fairy tale, with the la la land, with the idea of the oasis. No, I am not even giving you some impossible, impractical cognitions. No. Reason out reasonably. Do not use your ability to reason constantly to negotiate with others and life. Don't use your logic, your ability to reason out in a cheap, cunning strategy method, a strategizing tool to negotiate with life, with others, with the world. A small story. My friend and his wife stayed in a hotel, got a bill for $90. He screamed, for what? $90. The desk clerk said, for room and board, sir. My friend said, room and board? We did not eat here. The clerk said, it was here for you. If you did not get it, it's your fault. If you did not eat it, it's your fault. My friend said, you take $40 and I am charging you $50 for fooling around with my wife. The clerk said, I never touched your wife. I have not even spoken to your wife. My friend said, it was there for you. If you did not take it, it's your fault. Understand? Do not use your ability to reason out as a cheap strategy for negotiation or a tool to negotiate in a cheap way. Please listen. Some of the Nitya Satsangis who attend regularly Satsangs may be wondering after a long time, a small story from Swamiji. Listen, actually in Savikalpa Samadhi, I was seeing the Kailasa visually. See, in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, there is no two, there is no seen and the seer. It's all one, pure consciousness. But in the next, the Savikalpa Samadhi, the vision is seen. Inside me only, a part of me is Paramashiva, part of me is Ganapati, part of me is Paramashiva Shakti, part of me is Subramanya, part of me is Kailasa. Like a inside me, the whole thing is seen. In Savikalpa Samadhi, I was seeing Paramashiva was giving the great truths, the teachings. Suddenly, he said something. I still can see what he said, but I'm not able to map it to human language. Something like one chana, he uttered something. The whole Kailasa was laughing. Paramashiva was laughing, and Devi was laughing. Everyone was laughing. Whole Kailasa was laughing, roaring and laughing. And I saw, this is the way exactly my laughing temple used to be. When I started giving my satsangs and classes in Adi Kailasa. And of course, I know it's again going to restart in this upgraded new beginning. I have lots of stories for you guys. Now, listen. If you see, you can see very clearly how your ability to reason out is being used by you violently. How you add so much violence to it. It is like if you get a knife in your hand, and if you have a violence inside and knife in your hand, how you will act. Same way you can see your ability to reason out is being used by you with so much violence. Listen, all frustration, all feeling suffocated, all feeling exploited is nothing but you using your ability to reason out with violence. That is why I insist not having violence inside you. If you have violence inside you and expect others to suffer, you are a fool. You drink poison and expect your enemy to die. No, it is not going to happen. I tell you, bring absolute all that. First, you can only bring peace inside you. Bring peace, shanti. You will see your ability to reason out, your ability to come to logical conclusion will be used by you properly. Listen. Knife in the hands of a compassionate doctor can save a person. The same knife in the hands of a violent fellow can kill others, can even kill himself when he is too frustrated by killing too many people. Finally, he kills himself. The ability to reason out, that ability is sacred. Because every day you go on reasoning out about yourself, about your life, about your past, about your future. You are constantly in the process of reasoning out. That reasoning out is one of the powerful tools. whether you want it or not, just like your breathing. Reasoning out is part of your being, the core being. Reasoning out is verily part of you, just like your breathing. Manomaya kosa, constant reasoning out, is verily part of you, like pranamaya kosa, constantly breathing. Just like breathing is part of you, and reasoning out, logically coming to conclusions, is verily part of you. All I am trying to tell you is, I am not asking you to approach life with so-called positivity, love, compassion. I tell you, love, compassion, positivity, everything cannot be generated. Only peace can be generated. Only peace can be achieved. From peace, all this manifests. From peace, in your inner peace, Shanti, Paramashantatva, love, compassion, everything starts manifesting. Whether prayer or meditation, love, compassion, even powerful cognition, it all manifests from your Shantatva, Paramashantatva. Work on Paramashantatva. Listen again and again. I am repeating. You trying to build love. You may build a loving character, but love itself can't be built. You can build kind of a skin deep love. If you are not peaceful inside, your love will not be permanent. So first things first. First things first. First thing you can achieve for real is peace. Work for your peace by unclutching. Unclutching is the most sublime, subtle, powerful way of reasoning out. Most powerful, subtle way of coming to logical conclusions is unclutching. I tell you, in the beginning, unclutching may look like you are pushing your whole reasoning away. But when you start testing the unclutching, you will understand unclutching gives you the most powerful reasonable reasoning. Listen, in unclutching, the steam of violence inside you is released. Tremendous peace is brought inside you. The Paramashantatva, peace. In that peace only you will see your logical ability to come to conclusion, your ability to come to logical conclusions, your power to reason out is separate from you. And you can handle that process reasonably, logically. Be logically logical. Reasonably reasoning it out. Reason out reasonably. Be logically logical. Unfortunately, you are always trying to use your ability to reason out, to your ability to logically come to conclusion, to negotiate with the life, to bargain with the life. You think only by hard negotiation you will get best out of life, and you suffocate others and you, and literally destroy the life. I tell you, life happens to you by the depth of the peace inside you, and from the peace, the love which grows. From that peace, meditation which grows. From that peace, consciousness which grows. From that peace, compassion which grows. From that peace, the bliss which grows. That is the productivity of your life. Continuously reason out how you are the ultimate Paramashiva and how you strangle yourself with your ability to reason out, with your ability to come to logical conclusions. See, your ability to come to a logical conclusion, if you start using it violently towards others, you will start using the same thing violently towards you. And you will be constantly unhappy with yourself and unhappy with others. Frustrated with yourself and frustrated with others. It is too simple. Just remember the story I told just now. The desk clerk asks money for the breakfast, the food you did not eat. Then immediately you try to ask the money from him for the acts he did not do. Listen, it may be like a joke, but look in how many times you are playing this crucial, I should say that, this cruel joke in many crucial moments of your life with you and with others. Just sit and pen down 5 moments. Listen, today try to do this. Just 5 moments when you played this cruel joke during the crucial moments of your life with yourself and with others. I'll tell you a very simple way how my reasoning out functions in a very simple way. I'll give you one simple example. When I am unclutched and sitting in samadhi, sometimes with the eyes open, my disciples come and present various situations and issues where I need to make decisions. During very critical moments, crucial moments, or emergency situations, they ask me, Swamiji, don't you ever feel insecure about the future and how things are going to happen, how things are going to be? Don't you feel insecure ever? I tell you, listen carefully. I am giving you exactly as I reason out. The very way I reason out, I am presenting it to you. Listen carefully. See, in cinema, there are various ways of storytelling, like starting with a simple introduction, then slowly taking it to the intense part of the story, then finally climax. Or first opening the climax, then explaining the climax through flashback, justifying the climax through flashback. So all of you understand how I look at my life, If you write my life, the first line, first statement is born in Arunachala, Tiruvannamalai. Hey, climax is over. That line is the climax. Over. Now I have to win. My life has to be victorious. Nothing else can happen. Nothing else can be done. Everything else happening after the first line is flashback justifying it. It is like you pick up a thriller novel, you finish reading the climax, the last 2 pages. Then read the novel from the first page. You know what is the climax and you will not have insecurity, fear. Because whether when you read the thriller novel or a movie, when you watch a movie, you travel with hero. You identify yourself with a hero and you travel with hero. The insecurity hero goes through, you also go through. But if you know the climax, if you know the end of the thriller movie or a thriller novel, if you know the climax, you will not have the insecurity. You will just go through the movie and enjoy frame by frame the work involved in that movie. You will enjoy that. So be very clear. The first line of my biography, born in Arunachala, Tiruvannamalai, over, climax is done. After that, everything is told. Everything done. Everything shown. Everything is just a flashback. After that one line is born in Tiruvannamalai. அதுக்கப்புறம் என்னடா சொல்லுவீங்க என்ன பத்தி? என்ன சொன்னாலும் அது flashback தான்டா. Say in any field, for people to measure them, for example, if a politician, political leader, how you will measure him? How many times he was prime minister or chief minister or a president? He was in power. And what is his vote bank? Same way, in cine field celebrity, you will measure based on how many movies he acted, how many super hits, blockbuster super hits he gave, how many national awards, international awards he got. That's where you will measure them. In spiritual field, to gauge somebody, to measure somebody, the fundamental requirements are powerful Guru Parampara. Guru Parampara, unbroken lineage of enlightened beings. First. Second, a powerful spiritual ecosystem which groomed him. Third, when he manifested all the great truths given to him by Guru Parampara and the ecosystem as his own experience. Fourth, how he manifests the multi-dimensions and powers of that enlightenment. All these four, peak of all these four which I uttered now, powerful enlightened master's lineage, powerful ecosystem, ability to make the person manifest the enlightenment as his own experience, and ability to make that person manifest multi-dimensions of enlightenment. In all four, Arunachala is the peak and highest possible available brand. So when you say the first word, Tiruvannamalai Pirandar, born in Arunachala, Tiruvannamalai, over. Climax is done. Climax is over. Now it is no more a thriller movie or thriller novel. Now it is all flashback justifying the climax. Flashback justifying the climax. So I know for sure I have to win. I know for sure I will be successful. I know for sure I have to do the work Paramashiva gave me. Understand. The logic, the way I reason out, open it up. Don't try to tell it is positive thinking. No. I just know a simple, reasonable way of reasoning out the ultimate truths. You may try to give a different name, confidence, bhakti, is trust on Arunachala. All whatever names you want to give, whatever brandings you want to do, I tell you, even if you reasonably reason out, stop hurting yourself with the self-doubt, self-denial, self-hatred. If you use your reasoning with a self-doubt, hurt yourself constantly, then self-doubt will become self-denial. And the self-denial will naturally lead to self-hatred. Self-doubt will lead to self-hatred and self-denial both simultaneously. So understand, reasoning out reasonably will make you naturally peaceful, blissful, loving, caring, compassionate, absolutely life positive without even you thinking you are life positive. See, if you think you are beautiful, your beauty is ugly. Over. If you don't even think you are beautiful, others think you are beautiful. That is the most beautiful thing. You should not think you are beautiful. Others should think you are beautiful. Same way, people who live around you should think you are life positive. You should not even think you are life positive. That is the real life positivity. People around you should feel, oh God, I know him for so many years. What kind of a stamina and life positivity is carrying? This happens when you start logically logical, reasonably reasoning out. Listen, we all know the meaning of the words uttered. But when we pick up fight, how we twist, listen carefully. This is for all the Kailasavasis and everyone. Just sit with yourself and see how you twist the words during the interaction with the life. One more story. I have one more story. Miss D'Angelo was a none too bright girl. Listen, you should enjoy every line of the story. Miss D'Angelo was a none too bright girl who had moved to Hollywood with the dreams of becoming a star. She did not find fame or glory, but she did encounter plenty of men willing to enjoy her plentiful charms, and eventually she found herself named in a divorce case. When it was her turn on the stand, the prosecutor came forward. Miss D'Angelo, the wife of the defendant. Listen, Miss D'Angelo, the wife of the defendant, has identified you as the other woman in her husband's life. Now, do you admit that you went to the Price Right motel with this Mr. Evans? Well, yes, acknowledged Miss D'Angelo with a sniff, but I could not help it. Could not help it? Asked the lawyer derisively. How is that? She replied, Mr. Evans deceived me. Lawyer asked, exactly what do you mean? She replies, see, when we signed in, he told the motel clerk, I was his wife. Listen, you all know how the words are used and what they mean in every situation. D'Angelo knows when Mr. Evans tells the motel clerk, she was his wife, what he means and what is the meaning. Can that word stand in the court of law as the wife? No. And she knows Evans does not mean what he says. Many times, knowing with your reasoning logic, this is not going to be the case the way people present things in front of you. You jump into the action due to your stress. Listen. Now I am giving you one of the very powerful cognition. Many time in the life, keeping quiet is the powerful strategy. Powerful Brahmastra. Because many time, you can't keep quiet. You can't silence your restlessness to be productive or the squeeze the juice, maximum juice out of life. See, this one life theory makes man mad. He has to squeeze maximum out of life this 100 years. So what he does? He programs himself, go on to do. Many times, because you can't keep quiet, you do something and end up in a mess. To repair that mess, you may have to spend some time, years or even life. Many times, just because you can't keep quiet, your restlessness inside, either the violence, wrong logic of feeling exploited, or the wrong logic you have to squeeze the life and take the maximum juice out of life. You do actions, you take decisions actually to be maximum productive. You do things in your agitation, but you land up in making mess, different chaos. You create so much of mess in your life. To clean up that mess, you may be spending 5 years, 10 years. Sometimes in those moments, if you kill somebody, you literally pay your whole life to repair it. I tell you, I can give you one assurance. If you learn to keep quiet when you need to keep quiet, see, in some of the business deals, some home or a mall, when a owner sells, he says, if you are the buyer, if the buyer is going to sell after a few years, first right should be given to the same guy. He will say that right to the first right to buy. You should first ask me. If I say I am not able to buy, I don't want, then you can give it to others. Same way, during your decision-making process, always keep the unclutching or keeping quiet as the first option. during every agitated moment, every depressed moment, every painful moment, every moment of suffering, keep this as a first option. What is it? Keeping quiet, silence. Keep that as a first option. I tell you, many times, keeping quiet or patience is best productive strategy during wars, crisis, and many situations in your life. Only if you feel that keeping quiet is not going to work and you really need to do something, do. Otherwise, keeping quiet as the first option. I tell you, most of the time, just because you can't keep quiet, your inner restlessness, wrong reasoning out, pushes you to do something. You do something and end up spending years or your whole life cleaning up that mess. Cleaning up for that mess. Reason out that you are Paramashiva. Next truth. Season out with the truth you are Paramashiva. Season out means even when you go through ups and downs, success and failures, good and bad, right and wrong, even when you consider your life is becoming mess continuously, you are collapsing and life is falling apart, even during those seasons, hold on to the truth you are Paramashiva and look from that powerful cognition you are Paramashiva and operate. Listen, in the West, 4 seasons. In Hindu tradition, it is always 6 seasons. Shat Rutu, we call it 6 seasons. All Shat Rutus, all 6 seasons. Sit yourself with the powerful cognition you are Paramashiva and go on operating from that. Please understand, in Hindu tradition, when you manifest Archavatara means making a stone idol into God. When that process is done, it's a very beautiful process. The Acharya who does Prana Pratishta, he will initiate the deity with the Bija mantra of the deity. For example, if it is a Shivalinga, that Bija mantra, Om Om Shivaya Namaha, there's a Bija mantra. He will initiate the deity into the Bija mantra and leave the deity in the open air for all 6 seasons. The deity has to be with the Bija mantra sitting all 6 seasons. After all the 6 seasons in the open air, if there is no crack in the deity, it is ready for the next Prana Pratishta process. seasoning out. Even the stone is seasoned out with a great truth to become God. Same way for you. If you sit with the truth and season out yourself, you will become Nijavatara. This is the science of God making. Listen, Hinduism has this unique tradition of science of God making, making the God enter into a deity as Archavatara or enter into a human being as Nijavatara. Not even human being, it can enter even into any being. So understand, sit with this truth. You are Paramashiva for all 6 seasons, Shat Rutus. That is what I call seasoning out. When I say Shat Rutus, all 6 seasons, not just summer, winter, I mean inner seasons. Peak joy, worst suffering. In all various moods, season out yourself with this truth. Listen. In one frequency, what you feel as peace becomes good in the next frequency. Actually, from peace only all auspiciousness starts. That's why all Vedas, after they utter the ultimate sound Om, the next word they utter is Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All Veda mantras conclude with this Shanti. Begin with this Shanti. From peace, the peace in the next level frequency becomes feel-good feeling. Then next level frequency, it becomes pleasant. Then next level frequency, it becomes joy. Then next level frequency, it becomes ecstasy. Then next level frequency, it becomes bliss. Then next level frequency, it becomes eternal bliss. Whether this season of goodness or the seasons of bad. I think bad I don't need to explain much. All of you know. Only good I need to explain so much. In all seasons, decide to stick to Paramashivatva. Operate from that. Reason out, season out, the truths of Paramashivatva. During all the inner seasons, stick to the truth or truths of Paramashivatva. All the constitutional rights given to you, the First Amendment of the Cosmic Constitution, reason out those truths of Paramashivatva and season out with those truths of Paramashivatva. Listen. I gave you one example, how I look at my life. The first line itself is a climax. After that, everything told is only a flashback, justification for the climax. And I tell you, all of you, when you use reasonably reasoning way, reasonable reasoning out, logically logical, when you start being open, simple, straightforward, with your life, you will all find the simple flow of your life and you will know the climax. Nothing to be stressed, nothing to shake you, nothing to make you collapse, or nothing to make you move away from your conscious existence. In Tamil, there is a beautiful statement. Tannilai தாழாமையும் தாழ்ந்தக்கால் உயிர் வாழாமையும் மானம் எனப்படும். Means not losing out of your consciousness, your first person's integrity. Your first person's integrity. Let me repeat. Means knowing who you are, what you stand for, and what you are, and standing with it is life. Understand? Reasoning out and seasoning out with the powerful truths of Paramashivatva. Next is hang out and chill out with Paramashivatva, the highest truths of life. See, Ma Nitya Mahaguhambananda is messaging. I'll read out her message. Ma Nitya Mahaguhambananda. In YouTube, she is messaging. Swamiji, I saw you healing me during MRI scan. Doctor asked me to get MRI done. He was worried for me going through a surgery. He now says I will not need any surgery in this life. Listen, this is our message, Guhambananda's message. And the truth I am going to explain, hanging out with the higher truths. It has a connection. Listen. Mahaguhambananda, she has certain feeling connection, devotion, Guru Bhakti. Even when doctor says she need MRI scan, even when she is going through the MRI scan, she was hanging out with me, not with her insecurities and fears. It will be useful when you can't. Build Guru Bhakti when you can, it will be useful when you can't. Build feeling connection when you can, it will be useful for you when you can't. Mahaguhambananda, she built it when she can. So it is now useful for her when she can't. Hanging out means making the undercurrent of your life as this Paramashivatva, higher principles. See, I can give you some 10 higher principles. You are Paramashiva. Even when you don't remember it, you are Paramashiva. And this idea of karma, what you do comes back to you. What you do comes back to you. If you don't remember yourself as Paramashiva, if you remember yourself as Paramashiva, what you did when you are not remembering you as a Paramashiva will not come back to you. Listen. This is what karma mukti. I am not defining karma to bind you. I am defining karma to liberate you. Please understand. All my definitions still now, I have defined at least 10,000 key powerful truths of Hinduism, like God, Vedanta, Veda, knowledge, Vidya, Vairagya, renunciation, Shanta, Mangala, at least 10,000. Every definition is focused on liberating you, giving you solution. The definition itself with the focus of liberating you. So I am defining karma. Listen. Ordinary definition, all of you know about karma is what you do comes back to you. But I tell you, what you do comes back to you only if you remain in that same mood or consciousness. Many times there is a sketch used, like a card. One person will be sitting and he drops the card and it goes round and comes and falls on him. You all may be understanding what I am saying. If you just push one card and it goes round and comes back and last card falls on you. You understand karma in this way only. I tell you, all your actions will come back to you only if you remain in that same consciousness. If you raise your consciousness, it will not come back to you. You can say, hey, now I am Paramashiva. You can't come back to me. When this was committed, I was ordinary person, ordinary man. Now I am Paramashiva, so you can't come back to me. That is why the initiation into the higher truth, when you start reasoning out and seasoning out with the higher truths, you are called Dvija, reborn, newborn. Understand the second truth about life, karma. No karma affects you if you raise your consciousness. The action done in certain consciousness, inner space, only that inner space suffers the reaction. If that inner space is evolved, the reactions don't come to you. The reactions don't come to you. Reason out this great truth. Season out with this great truth. Listen. This is the fundamental of the KAILASA jurisprudence. I don't know how many of you know, in Manusmriti, if somebody commits a crime, like a murder or stealing, and if he takes sannyas, he can't be punished. That's Dharma Shastra. If he takes sannyas and lives the sannyas space, he can't be punished. I am making this as a law in Kailasa. Because Kailasa is functioning as per constitution of the cosmos. Listen carefully. Dharma Shastras are constitution of the cosmos. It's a jurisprudence of the cosmos. Everything I am saying, everything I am asking you to do is nothing but introducing the Kailasa culture to you even while you are in planet Earth. So when you go to Kailasa, you will not have a cultural shock. So many people asked me, when I went to US, first time when I went to US, I think I was 25. 2003, I went to US first time. And I'm born in 78 to 2003. So 25. People asked me, Swamiji, don't you feel the cultural shock? You are born and brought up in a village and you are here suddenly in a different country, different kind of people, meeting them, giving them classes, solutions, lessons on enlightenment. Don't you feel the cultural shock? I said, no, because in the young age itself, my gurus have trained me, making me meet the Westerners, foreigners who come to Tiruvannamalai. Because I have seen enough of people from all over the world who come to Tiruvannamalai for enlightenment, I don't feel any cultural shock. I did not have a cultural shock when I started traveling all over the world. Same way, I am training you for the Kailasa lifestyle, constitution of Kailasa, jurisprudence of Kailasa, lifestyle of Kailasa. So when you go there, you will not have cultural shock. You know the traffic rules of Kailasa. Listen, karma as per the cosmos is the inner space which committed the karma gets the karma back. If you have changed, evolved with a higher inner space, you will not have that karma. You will not have that suffering. This great truth, reason it out, season it out, you will really see how whatever you may go through in your life, the cosmic constitution still holds good anywhere you may live. If you reason out and season out with this great truth, you can understand. If you reason out and season out with this truth, you can see clearly. Whenever you raise your consciousness, the effects of your old karma does not touch you, doesn't impact you. I have a sketch to show you. Just see it. This is the way you understand karma normally. But actually, after pushing the first board, if you walk out, if you get out, it will not fall on you. That's all. If you continue to sit there, then it will fall on you. All of you understand what I am saying? Usually this is the picture shown to you to explain karma. What goes comes around. If you are stupidly sitting and shitting in that same place with the same inner space, if you have a simple intelligence, shift your cognition. Start reasoning out and seasoning out and hanging out and chilling out with the higher truths. You will not get the karma back to you. You will not get the results of the action done by you. So understand this. This is the usual picture given to all of you to understand about the karma. If you sit after pushing the first board or the first brick, if you continue to sit and shit in the same place, the last brick will fall on you. But if you shift your inner space, the last brick will not fall on you. What goes comes around. But if you are not sitting in that round, it will not come back to you. It will not come back to you. These powerful truths, reason out with it, season out with it, hang out with it, chill out with it. You will manifest Paramashivatva. First thing, understand. The initiation into Paramashivatva, when you start reasoning out and seasoning out, the first thing will happen is all your karmas will stop touching you, harassing you. See, when you start the pranayama, the first change will happen in your body is your body will become colorful. Like eyes will become more dark. The white part of the eyes will become more white. The lips will become more rosy. The nails will become more shining. All the body parts will become more colorful. The natural color will get intensified. Same way, when you start reasoning out and seasoning out with the Paramashivatva, higher truths, the first effect will be all your past karmas will stop affecting you. The effect of your past karma will drastically reduce on you. Suddenly your health will become wonderful. Your inner space, your wealth, your relationships, everything. The past karmas will lose its power over you. Listen. Listen intensely and contemplate. I'll continue to give the satsang in just few minutes. It is just whole system is getting into samadhi. I'll settle and then start again. Just give me few minutes break. Be Stay tuned. Oh, listen. Sorry for the spiritual glitch. I can't call it technical glitch. And actually, spirituality is not a glitch. It's like a... So, sorry for the glitch. Listen. Today I was explaining first about what is reasoning out, seasoning out, hanging out, chilling out with Paramashivatva truths. Paramashivatva truths I am explaining. First, you are Paramashiva. Second, you have a right to feel, exist, think, experience, live as Paramashiva. Third, you have a right to be treated as Paramashiva by others and life. Fourth, this karma theory. Listen, this karma. The results of your karma will come back to you only if you continue to stay in the same inner space with which you performed that karma. If you raise your inner space, the effects of the karma you performed while you were in the lower space does not come to you. It's a truth. Reason out, season out, hang out, chill out with this truth, you will understand. That is why Manuvadi Dharmashastras, from Manu, all Dharmashastras, does not punish when someone becomes a sannyasi for the karmas he committed in his pre-sannyas, pre-monastic life. For example, Valmiki, I don't know how many number of murders Valmiki committed, but he did not go to hell or he did not suffer. Once he raised his consciousness with the initiation of Narada, his whole karma did not come back to him. Arunagirinathar. He was not only womanizer and he has done everything possible. Nothing came to him after he got initiated by Subramanya. All the karmas did not come back to him when he was initiated by Subramanya, when his inner space changed. I can give you the huge list. Next thing, listen. When you start reasoning out and seasoning out and hanging out with the Paramashivatva truths, extraordinary confidence about life, exorbitant positivity, love for life will manifest. From that love for life only, you become non-violent. You understand the value of life. So listen. Understanding the value of life makes you fulfilled, successful in anything you do. Whether you are a doctor, engineer, politician, leader, spiritual seeker, anything. If you understand value of life, you are fulfilled. Listen. Understanding the value of life makes you conscious about your existence. So I'll continue in further satsangs. Now, the homework for today, watch this satsang again, at least 2 times, and sit and pen down, reason out every truth I revealed with the right way of reasoning. With the right way of reasoning. Understand? Come to conclusions with the right way of reasoning. I have one more story to tell you all. Small story. A foreigner in Europe starts speaking to neighbor. I tell you, sir, this country is great country, and I praise God that I came to this country. I am living in Europe. The foreigner was expounding to a new acquaintance. Where else, I ask you, could it happen that you could do a hard day's work, then find yourself outside the gates, standing in the rain, waiting for the bus? The guy intruded, was listening. He said, you call that great? Man said, but wait now. A big black limousine pulls up and the boss opens the back door and says, it's a hell of a night to be out in the rain. Why don't you come in here and warm up? And when you are inside, he says, that coat is awfully wet. Let me buy you a new one. All right. And after he has bought you a coat, he asks where you live and says, that's a long drive on a night like this. Why not come to my house? So he takes you to his big mansion and gives you a big meal and a few drinks and a warm bed for the night and a hot breakfast and ride back to the work. I tell you, this is the great country. It would never happen to me in any other country. The guy asks, and it happened to you here? The acquaintance asked skeptically. This fellow says, no, but it happened to my sister. Think through. Even if you miss the joke, don't miss the laughter. And if you miss the joke now, listen to the satsang again. Maybe in the late night or tomorrow morning. When you get your ride back, you will get the joke. And come back for the next satsang. I'll give you more powerful cognitions and truths. So with this, I bless you all. Let's all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing, living Shuddhatvaita Saivam. The state, space, powers, being, superconsciousness, and KAILASA of Paramashiva Om Paramashivoham Nithyananda Paramashivoham KAILASA of Paramashiva. Paramashivoham Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. The eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful.